Hey everyone, and welcome to Recharge the Podcast. I'm David Coe. Welcome to part two of my conversation with Nicole Avant. I just want to change the conversation to how you have continued to honor your mother and her legacy. So, you opened up the Jacqueline Avant Children and Family Center of April of 23. And this is a 50,000 square foot facility offering comprehensive mental health services, trauma care, and health care for at risk youth. Your mother really believed that mental health and physical health and spiritual health all needed to be under one roof. For so long in healthcare, your mental health and your physical health were treated very differently.
Yes.
And it's now been shown that they are deeply intertwined. If you have physical
Yes.
health issues, you can have mental health issues. Mental health issues lead to physical health issues. It costs the healthcare system 2 to 8 times more to give you facts and numbers. And so we've all seen it. So now they're all being kind of treated as one. You kind of got there on your own. And you put the spiritual side in there, which is like the icing on the cake to wrap everything, right? So
Yeah.
why was your mother so passionate about the work that she did? And what does it mean for you to be able to carry this forward, her vision in this way?
So my mom used to be a president of this organization called Neighbors of Watts. And it
Mm.
was a group of women in Beverly Hills in the LA area, and they would volunteer in Watts. And they'd go a couple times a week. And sometimes I was in the car and I was in the back seat, and she said, whatever I'm doing today, you're doing today after school. But the one thing that I noticed that made my mom so angry, and anger is, as we know, is usually it's showing you what you're passionate about. It's showing you what's
Mm.
wrong. It's not a
Mm.
negative. It's like, wait a minute, something is wrong here.
Yeah.
And she, to exactly what you said, she said, so we would treat kids who were physically hurt, physically molested, something, whatever it was. She said, and then I would watch them say, go to this clinic in Pasadena and then get treated for this. And then you go to this clinic and get treated for this. And my mom was looking, saying, wait, wait, wait.
Mm.
These are working class people. They have one or two jobs here. They are doing the best that they can. They are good people. They are part of the community. They want the best for their children. Do you think they could just they have the freedom to just take a day off and drive, 2 hours to this
Yes.
city and do this?
You
So
nailed it.
yeah, and my mom was so angry. So every day she goes, you know what I'm going to do with this anger? I'm going to channel this anger. I'm going to find the right people and we're going to raise money. And we've got to open up a center or centers that people can go to and everything will be under one roof. So we will have the psychologist here. We will have the
Yes.
kinesiologist here. We will have the physical person here. We will have everybody connected to the one person. She couldn't believe that they were all separate. And she really, her why was, why are we re-traumatizing people? Why
Mm.
are we making them drive 2 miles here, 10 miles here, 20
Mm.
miles here? Why can't everything be under one roof and help people in that way? Because physical, emotional, spiritual are all one. You have one body, you have one soul, but everything's connected. And so she didn't want to disconnect the healing. She said, if everything is connected, physical, mental, spiritual, why are we disconnecting it all? And if we can have it under one roof,
Mm.
especially for working class families who didn't have the opportunity to just take a day off, take this off and go drive your child here, then go see this specialist. And so that's why I just picked up the baton and said, we're going to continue this. We're going to raise money for this center and we're going to have everything under one roof. And they do an amazing job. And everyone is so dedicated. It's clean. It's another thing she couldn't stand.
Mm.
She couldn't stand that things were filthy. I'll never forget
Mhm.
one time we were in this like a little bungalow outside and there were weeds going through
Oh
and
no.
mold was growing in. And my mom said, well, what are we doing here? So we're treating someone for something and there's literally mold coming through
Mm.
the bottom of this trailer outside. It's not clean. Nothing was sanitary. And so my mom loved children so much and she loved the taking care of them that she thought, as we were saying before about space and clutter and cleanliness, it does make a difference on your emotional health, your
Yeah.
mental health. And so, especially if you're going into the doctor for anything physical, spiritual, emotional, then you have to hopefully have it presentable and somewhere where someone does feel that they can be healed.
Yes. And now actually I want to talk a little bit about your dad because talked a lot about your mom and your dad was a big influence on your life as
Yep.
well. And he gave you so much advice. Is there a favorite piece of advice that he's given you?
There's two. I mean, he's got all these isms, and I'm writing a new book on many of them will be in the new book.
Yes.
But I think the best advice he gave me was one, you have a life, you're born with a number and you're going to end with a number. And what's your in between? Your in between is your dash. What are you going to do with your dash? It
Mm,
is your life. And then he'd always say, and you have choices. And the difference between a human and any other animal, any other species, is that we have choice and they don't. So you have to choose every single day. If you made the wrong choice, then turn it around and choose again. Choose
right.
better, but go back to the power of having choice. And a lot of people don't like the idea of having choice, but
That's right.
it does give you power, but it makes you responsible. That's why people don't like it. But believe me, there's been plenty of times in my life where I thought, I cannot believe I chose that. I cannot believe that I thought that would be great for my life. But there's a lesson in every bad
Mm,
choice, by the way. There's a lesson in every choice that never ended up supporting you. There's a good lesson if you take it. So I think for me, it's really don't waste my life. My father, he always told me, I'll support you in anything you want to do, but I will never support you if you waste your life.
oh,
That will
that's
not
so
support.
good.
Yeah, he said that you're on your own and don't ask me for anything. I will not give it to you. And that's the way I was raised. And I think it was great because it scared the crap out of me. I always wanted a relationship with my parents. And they said, of course, we love you. And we've given you the best life that we could possibly give you and everything that we didn't have. But
Mm,
you can't waste your life. Please
right.
don't waste your life. And that was really good advice because you don't want to do that. It really is a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege that we're talking right now. It's a privilege
Mhm.
that we're living in a free country. There's so many privileges to focus on versus what you don't have. There's so many
Mm.
privileges that we have. And I think that was the greatest gift of focus on what you do have.
Thank you for that reminder. That's amazing. I really love how you talk about the mind, body, soul connection.
Mhm.
And some of that is through music.
Yeah.
And you've talked about how music can really be the connector between all of that, the mind, body, and soul. Can you explain what that means?
Music for me is everything. And I think I'm grateful that I grew up in a household, that was obviously filled with music and musicians, but it does change my vibration faster than any art form. It changes me completely. It ignites my imagination. I think of people around the world that may be in a different situation, and but once it's
Yeah,
put into a song, I automatically it's like intellectual, sympathy. All of a sudden you're in that person,
sure,
you know?
sure.
And for example, when I was grieving but for some reason I was having a hard time crying. I felt very sad, but I had a hard time crying. And there's this great song, You'll Never Walk Alone. And I listened to the Frank Sinatra version.
Mm,
It literally floored me.
mm,
It just to the point where I had to pull over my car and I was hysterical.
mm,
But it hit something inside me that I needed. It helped move the energy, and it was a great reminder that we are never walking alone. But music does that all the time, whether it's a sad song, a happy song, a song that makes you think about other people, about situations in life. Music to me, it saved my life. And I've
mm,
said that many times, and it really did. It saved my life. It definitely saved my father's life, but
mm.
it saved my life. And I'll share this other story. My father, I was taking him to the hospital when he got sick at the end of his life, and he was mid-stroke.
Mm.
And he's
Wow.
in the ambulance, and I'm sitting in the back with him, and I'm already grieving because I know, this is kind of, I don't know how long he's going to live. And but I could tell he's alert. And I said to the paramedic, "Do you mind if I just turn on my phone for a second? Do you mind if I play this music, while he's typing and all?" He's like, "Whatever." And I put on Frank Sinatra because that was my dad's favorite, one of his favorite artists. But mid-stroke, he starts moving his body.
That's
And it's
so
just
amazing.
proof again how music, what it does to the subconscious mind, what it does to the DNA, it doesn't leave. And it made everything calm. So by the time we all got to the hospital, it was a very different energy even though it was a terrible state, it was beautiful for me to see how music, what it does to the body, what it does to the mind.
I hear you on music and I think we got a lot of that. So that's perfect. I
Good.
want to shift a little to, as we've talked about music, the power of laughter, because you've
Yes.
often talked about the power of laughter, and you shared something that is pretty unique that you end your days laughing as you go to sleep,
Yes.
watching Seinfeld,
Yes.
Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. And I was like, come on, as I was looking at this. Tell me just about the importance of laughter and
It's
what that
so
means to you.
good. It's so, I just the other day I watched All in the Family and the Jeffersons back to
Oh,
back,
yeah.
and I was howling. And I needed it because I was having such a crap day because it just shifts your energy so fast. And it's a good reminder of, okay, you can take things seriously, but sometimes it helps you just unload a little bit.
Sure.
And I always tell Ted, my husband, I think comedy is going to save the world. I really do. I've said it from the beginning. I really do. I think we all need to laugh with each other, and it helps us not take things so seriously. And it's a great reminder and a great common denominator of you could have all different races in the room. You can have male, female, everybody, black, white, Asian, and we're all laughing at the same thing because it's a
Ugh,
human experience. And I think it's a great reminder of the human experience that we're having, which is why we're all responding with laughter at the same time. And we all come from different backgrounds. And I
that's
think
right.
that's proof we're all human and we all have the crazy uncle and we have the crazy this and we have
I
this
got
person.
two of them.
Yeah, yeah. We have all of this. It's the same. That's why we're all laughing at the same joke. It's so
Mm,
good. And
mm,
I just miss it. I mean, the Golden Girls are I watch that at 10:30 every night. I mean, I really used it for the grief. I really decided, okay, I need to laugh every night before I go to sleep. So because my nervous system was so shot. It
mm,
was so off kilter. And I thought, okay, I'm doing all these other things. The one thing that I'm missing is laughing.
mm.
And I do believe that it really is, it's great medicine for sure. And it definitely made a difference in my healing journey. It definitely helped me move grief around. So I'm a big believer in it. And I think it's at our fingertips and whatever makes you laugh, go for it.
Well, how do you sleep as a follow-up to that? Do you sleep, how's your relationship with sleep changed? Are you a good sleeper now because you
I
laugh?
am. I
Yeah.
am. Well, by the way,
Mm,
I'm not just saying this because I have my little Calm app here,
yeah.
and the only things I use is sleep. I
Yeah.
need to do meditations for sleep. I mean, the joke in my house is that I'll tell everybody, I'm running a bath and I'm meditating for 45 minutes. Don't bother me. And then, of course, an hour and a half later, have you gotten in the bath? No. Have you done this? No. But when I do, I need a ritual like that because my mind races. I'm so
Mm,
creative that I have ideas pop in my head all the time. So for me to meditate before I go to sleep, to really turn off. And my
mm.
mom always, before I went to bed, it was always, the now I lay me down to sleep prayer, and then go
Sure.
through what I was grateful for. Just what am I thankful for today? I'm grateful for that I have a home. I'm grateful that I have a family. But it did work. And I was doing that since I was 3.
Oh,
So
wow.
2 or whatever. As soon as I could speak, my mom would say your prayers before you go to sleep.
Mm,
And then when you wake up in the morning, be grateful that you have another day, but always thank the universe, thank God for your life and tell him what you're thankful for. So it
yeah.
was just a habit. And reading helps me too. So it's meditation and then turning off my phone. That's been a big thing, turning off my phone.
Yeah.
And I notice a difference when I do have the screen on late at night. I don't sleep as well. And I just
That's
know
right.
you just
That's
don't.
right. That's
So
right.
now I'm like, okay, an hour and a half before bed, I'm not looking at the screen and I'm going to read a book or do nothing and just get into the bed
That's
because
right.
it does make a difference. And when I started doing that, David, I don't wake up in the middle of the night anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I want to go to just one piece of advice you would give. So if someone right now is listening they're in the thick of grieving right now and it's hard to see through things and you may not feel whole right now, and you may feel the weight of the world is on you, what would you say to them or what would you want them to know based on your own experience?
I would say don't give up
Mm,
as much as you want to, and I understand that. Don't give up and love yourself through it. be good to yourself and be patient with yourself. But things do get better and things don't stay the same.
Mm,
It'll feel like it's never going to change, but things do change and you will laugh again and you will smile again.
mm,
And your soul is worth that.
mm,
And don't give up on your soul. That's what I would say. As much as you want to, don't give up and believe, believe, believe. You don't even have to know when or how or where or why things are going to get better, but you just have to know that this too shall pass. Doesn't take away the importance of it. And I'm not saying it doesn't take
mm,
away a tragedy, but I'm just
right.
saying you will smile again and you will laugh again,
Mm,
and you just have
mm,
to believe that.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, one last thing here before we go to our kind of mini speed round. Uh, you talked as your mother gave you some last words, and she said, "Think you'll be happy." And after everything you've been through, what does happiness now mean to you?
Happiness is really just who I am
Mm,
versus an outer feeling.
yeah.
Happiness to me is being a very grateful person. Happiness for me is truly just is gratitude. It really is. I know it sounds so simple, but I'm grateful for everything. I really am grateful. Like I said earlier, I'm grateful to have this conversation. I'm grateful for my family, my friends. There's so much to be grateful for, and I'm happy to continue her legacy. I'm happy that I was her daughter. I'm happy and grateful for the lessons that she gave me, and I'm happy to pass them along to anybody who listens to this, people who read the book. I'm happy. I'm really grateful and happy to be my mom's light in the world now.
Mm, Beautiful. I will wrap it up with these last three questions. What's something about you that might surprise people?
That I have no musical talents whatsoever. Even though I grew up with the greatest musicians in the world, yeah, none, zero.
Okay, that makes two of us. Okay. Well, you inspire so many people out there. Who inspires you?
My husband.
Beautiful. And lastly, what's your favorite way to recharge?
Oh, a bath. A
Ah,
bath.
a good bath.
I need a bath and music. Music for me is the best recharge, bath or not. And I would say the icing on the music is the bath.
I love that. Well, Nicole, I know we could have just kept going. I've been through a range of emotions on this podcast, to be quite honest with you. And for all of our listeners and everyone out there, please, please go and check out Nicole Avant's book, Think You'll Be Happy. Once you start, it's really hard to put down. It will grab you from page 2 here in the forward. And make sure you watch The Black Godfather and The 6888. That's both on Netflix today. Nicole, again, thank you so much for joining us here today on Recharge and for just sharing your story of grief, healing, and finding peace after such unimaginable loss. Your honesty about your own journey and your commitment, really, to honoring your mother's legacy through service is just so inspiring for all of us here today. Thank you all for our listeners for listening. If you've enjoyed this conversation, which I hope you do, and I know you will, please subscribe to our channel so that you can catch all our great episodes of Recharge. And we'll see you next time. Thank you again, Nicole.
Thank you so much.